From our studios in New York, here again is Stone Phillips.
You look everywhere for your keys, and 20 minutes later, you find them where they always are, staring you right in the face. Ever happened to you? It's pretty harmless if it's just a set of keys. But what if you're driving and it's another car you didn't spot? People in accidents often say they never saw the other guy coming. Well, there's a reason for that. And tonight, as you take a special Dateline test, you're going to see, or maybe not see, firsthand why sometimes you just can't believe your own eyes. Here's Mike Taibbi.
It may happen to any of us, anytime, anywhere, whenever we get behind the wheel of a car. It may already have happened to the submarine commander whose sub slammed into a Japanese fishing vessel. And it may have happened to this Boston cop who was so intent on chasing a suspect down this street that he raced right by a brutal beating.
In fact, it occurs so often in everyday life that a psychology professor from Harvard made it a big part of his career to help explain this astonishing phenomenon of human nature. He began by developing some of academic science's most innovative and startling experiments.
So, what exactly is it? Okay, pull up a chair, get close to your TV sets, and you'll find out by participating in the professor's very same experiments. Let's see how well you do. Dan Simons is the architect of those experiments, and he has some instructions for you at home.
And in this video, there are 3 players wearing white shirts passing a basketball. And your task is to count how many passes they make.
It sounds simple, but it's not. It's made harder by the fact that there are also 3 players with black shirts, and they're tossing around passes too. Now remember, as you watch this video, only count the passes by the white team. Are you ready? Start counting. Okay, that's it. How many passes did you see? Well, we had some 15 volunteers take the same experiment in our makeshift Dateline lab, and they had their own answers.
14.
15.
There were 16.
15.
16.
14.
Do you agree with any of these people? How many passes were there really? Well, we'll give you another shot. As we said, this is much harder than you think. And just a reminder, don't forget to include the bounce passes. They count too. So how many passes did you see this time? If you said 10, you're too low, 20 too high. And if this were a cutthroat reality program, you'd likely be voted off the show already. But don't worry, not only will we give you the answer later, you'll even get a chance to redeem yourself in another experiment.
Hi, you here for the Dateline study?
Yeah.
Now in this one, we want you to watch this woman closely as she walks down a long hallway and signs up for a Dateline study.
Just read this over and then fill it out.
Try to remember as much as you can about her. We'll be asking you questions later.
Page 6?
Yes. Okay, thank you. I just have to get you something.
Take that down the hall.
Okay.
Okay, got that? What exactly did you notice? Her hairstyle, the color of her shirt, what she said? Anything else? Now we're going to ask you to remember even more.
Hi, you here for the Dateline study?
Yes.
Pay attention to this man as he goes down the hall and approaches this desk.
Read that and then sign it. Okay. Sec. Just have to file this and get you one thing.
Take that back down the hall.
Thank you.
Okay, got that? And lastly, focus on this woman.
Okay.
Don't forget to remember what you can about her.
Read it and then send it. Okay, I just have to get one more thing. Ooh.
Just take that down the hall.
Now, whatever details you can recall, we have to confess that was just a smokescreen. We actually were testing something else, because these experiments were not really about what you saw, but what you didn't see. And if you're like most people, you probably missed something very big. Okay, time to let you in on our secret. This time, as this woman signs in, pay more attention to the person behind the desk, not the one in front of it.
Okay, I just need to get you something.
Just take that down the end of the hall.
How about that? Did you catch Dateline's version of identity fraud?
Yep, straight ahead.
Whenever one man ducked down, the other man popped right up.
Just take that down the end of the hall.
To make matters worse, the second time you took this test, the two guys weren't even wearing the same colored shirts. And though you certainly saw this guy inadvertently bump up the experiment, did you even notice that he hadn't been the one standing there just seconds before? If you didn't catch any of these changes, don't worry, you are not alone.
Do you want me to be a witness for workman's compensation?
Like you, those people you watched walking down that hall, and most of the others we tested, also missed it.
Take that back down the end of the hall.
Oh, it was a different guy. Oh, that's too funny. Were they twins or something?
Twins? Well, they're both Dateline staffers. They're both in their late 20s with similar builds, but they're hardly lookalikes. And even less so when we dressed them differently.
Never even looked at his shirt.
Turned one professorial with glasses.
Oh, whoa. That happened?
Made the other all business with a necktie.
It's a different guy.
In the end, most subjects, the ones filling out the forms, or you at home focusing on those people walking down the hall, just didn't see the big picture, as was the case in that resounding hit and miss.
And that, in a lot of ways, goes against our intuition, because we feel that at any instant we're taking in everything that we're looking at.
And if you think that experiment was amazing, there was something else that may shock you even more. And it showed up in that basketball video we played for you earlier. Now, watch that experiment once again, but this time, don't count the passes, just take in all the action. What? What was that? Back it up. That's right, a big, hairy gorilla. And you didn't just make a split-second cameo either. He was front and center for 9 full seconds, even posing like King Kong for all the world to see. But if you didn't see it, you are in good company. In test after test, regardless of age, education, or profession, Professor Simon says half the people or more miss the gorilla. Like this man.
No way.
And him.
That wasn't in there.
And him.
Now, I know that bear didn't come through there.
That gorilla?
Gorilla. I know they didn't go through there the first time, did it?
Absolutely is the same tape.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It didn't go through there the first
We
time.
promise. You want to see it one more time?
This is the first one, right? You got
That's the same
tape.
So why do we miss such obvious things that are right in front of us? Simon says that missing the gorilla comes from paying too much attention, a phenomenon the scientific community calls inattentional blindness, while he says missing the people switch comes from just not focusing enough.
If you're paying attention to the color of a person's shirt, you might not notice the shape of their nose. Or if you're paying attention to the shape of their nose, you're not going to notice what they're wearing.
These experiments, while lighthearted, confirm scientifically and once and for all those everyday oversights that plague every one of us. Not seeing your keys that are right in front of you, not seeing your friend waving at you as you walk by, and not remembering who your waiter or waitress is. Excuse me.
Not me.
In the end, Dan Simons, now in the psychology department at the University of Illinois, says that we don't see everything we think we do. And that, he warns, can have some dangerous and even deadly consequences. He says it may be why the submarine commander didn't see that fishing boat, and maybe why that Boston cop, who claimed a kind of tunnel vision while chasing a murder suspect, said he didn't see the brutal beating right nearby. And for you and me, it may be why driving, especially those times when we look but don't see, is one of the most dangerous things that we do every day.
Our intuition is that the kid on the bicycle is going to jump out at you, and you'll notice it and you'll be able to avoid it. What these studies suggest is that that's not the case.
Just have to get you something.
And they also suggest that we're not as safe as we think we are. And as a result, we have to be even more attentive and careful.
You're never going to be able to completely avoid all of the possible unexpected things that could happen. We have to be aware that we will sometimes be unaware.
As you know by now, counting the passes was just a ruse, but for those of you still wondering, the correct answer was 15 passes. If you'd like to learn more about these tests, log on to our website. The address is dateline.msnbc.com.